Earth, what's good on a wonderful Thursday, man? Salute from me and my brother, none
Salute
other
to the
than himself,
troops.
man. Yeah, man. Freddie, what's good? How you feeling today?
Life, love, peace, prosperity. I feel great, man. Peace to everybody and everyone. One love. What's up? What's up with you, though? My dude, Mr.
Oh,
Beard.
Mr. Big. Hey, yo, you know what? People are getting angry, and I feel because the comments are coming about the beard, and everybody's making comments about my beard.
What about the beard, though?
I don't know. Everybody's beard isn't designed and created as equal. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, goodness.
They thought, somebody asked me, do you dye this part on your beard? No, this is natural. This is a natural element right here. I didn't plan this. This came from hard work.
Genetically predisposed.
No, man. It's good, man. It's a Thursday. It's 2023. We pressing on. I've been talking to a lot of people today. It's been a lot of good conversations. A lot of people been reaching out about the content, just questions about business, stuff like that. Let me shout out to USP Atlanta, to the BOP over there for inviting me in. I'll be there the 29th to talk to the brothers in reentry just about life. They wanted me to come in there and talk about employment opportunities and stuff like that. I'm going to do a little bit about that, but I'm going to talk more about emotional intelligence and life. I'm going to have a real conversation with them.
Hey, yo, it can't ever be, and I know you're modest, you're humble, and all of that. But yo, bro, that's this really big, man, and you definitely need to be saluted, man. You, April, everybody connected with you. Going back into the prison is a big deal, especially a federal joint, man. And you barely touching what 3 years, right?
I just passed 3 years. I just got off papers. I'm finally able to move and maneuver and go back in. I was able to go to Dismiss Charities Halfway House a few weeks back. It was like a luncheon. I think I had talked about it up here. And that was kind of like me breaking the ice out here in Atlanta or in Georgia. So that was cool. And then I want to shout out too real quick at the top of the hour, Bard Business, nonprofit organization down here. I think what's unique about them, and there's organizations all over the country, but what's unique about them is the criteria is you had to have either been formerly incarcerated or have had a loved one that's incarcerated. And then outside of that, they're impactful. They fought and passed to make those that are coming home from prison a protected class here in Atlanta. And if you don't know what that means, it basically means if you're a felon in a lot of places, you could be getting discriminated against without even knowing. There's certain practices that can still be in place that can hinder you. But here in Atlanta, because of organizations like Bard Business, that doesn't happen. We're going to, I was invited to go with them to a public comment. I'm probably butchering that because this will be my first time. I know it's at City Hall. So you have to forgive me for that. But I'm just interested. I'm learning. I have a guest up here Monday from Bard Business. She's insightful and impactful, Miss Bridget, and she was schooling me to a lot. So I'm excited, just making connections down here, man.
That's big. A salute to all of the organizations, all the entities, the associations, the individuals who haven't forgotten about the incarcerated, who haven't forgotten how serious prison reform is, who haven't forgotten that there's a fight to be fought with some people whose hands are tied. So definitely a salute to everybody, man, who's engaged in that line, man. I definitely know, man, seeing people coming in, man, from that side is encouraging. It's empowering. Along that line, too, I want to say for you, Life, man, you're empowering a lot of cats, man. Oftentimes the incarcerated, we have a tendency to place a limitation on what we can really accomplish and on what we can do and what we can achieve. And you just showing, man, you and others, but particularly you, prison doesn't mean anything about what you can go, where you can go and what you can do.
Right. No question. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate the shout out. It's funny. I'm down here. I'm in Georgia. And, my stomping grounds was VA. And I see a lot of the brothers up there in VA really, really hitting the ground. And a lot of these brothers were behind those walls with us. So
yeah,
Yeah, I'm motivated, man, by the people that I see. You know, as grateful as I am for the opportunity, I feel like I can do a lot more because I'm seeing some guys out there doing a lot more. So it's just, I think for everybody, do your part. But if you really want to cause change in today's climate, you got to go. You know what I'm saying? You got to go knock on doors. You got to have conversations, and get past the stigma of being somebody that's listed as an ex-felon or etc. Because everybody's an ex-felon in 2023. So it's not looked at the same. So you can't use that as a hindrance. And salute again to organizations like Bar Business that are full of nothing but individuals that were formerly incarcerated but are out here literally impacting laws.
That's
Meaning,
big. That's
yeah,
big.
yeah, man. People that take away excuses, that's what I'm into. Um, a lot of times we waste time talking about the problems. We know the problems. We know the problem. We know the root of the problems. We know the core problem. We know what's going on. Let's get into the solutions now.
Yeah.
Um,
And
and
that might be a cue for all of us. If we ever encounter situations and we find that what we're continually doing is talking about the problem, we need to shift the discussion and shift our process to being solution oriented. That's really what complaining is. Complaining is that you're so focused on the problem that you can't get out the loop of continually analyzing the problem. Let's be solution oriented, yo. Get some stuff done. It's amazing what can be done when people set their minds to it.
no question. We got a question up here real quick. I wanted to make sure I got into these questions. Said CEQIC. He says, "What do you do for work? Industry, not specifics. Is it hard to get a job?" Well, I know Freddie will chime in too. For me, I do a couple of things. I do a few things. I feel like whether you are coming home from incarceration or you're out here living and you've never been to jail, I feel like you need to do two or three things at least be trying to. So I get up in the morning, I drive a box truck. That's my 9 to 5. Then I go to my business that me and my wife have. And then after that, I work on my stuff here, the 100 TV, create my own brand outside of a business and doing the 9 to 5 thing. For me, is it hard to find work or was it hard to find work? No, it just depends on your mentality. For me, I was making 27 cents, 35 cents, 42, whatever it was behind the wall. So when I came home, I was happy to make money and I hopped on the back of a garbage truck. I was just happy to start working. And from there, just being consistent at one job, it opened up opportunities and on my resume, and I was able to network, and I've been able to be pretty successful. What about you, Fred?
Well, what I do, I'm now an AV, audio visual, and a low voltage tech. As far as was it hard to find work, and and I'm concur with what Life just said. No, not at all. When I was willing to do what I had to do, it wasn't hard to find work at all. The temp agencies, Labor Finder, Labor Ready, these people are hiring left and right. It's just that oftentimes people are not willing to do the type of work. Once I set my mind up that I'm going to do what I'm going to do, understanding that as I do that, that's where I'm going to find my opportunities at. That's where I'm going to find promotion at is while I'm working. So it wasn't hard to find work. I will say to find or to get into the type of work that I was looking for or looking forward to was part of a process. But work, nah, not at all. Not at all.
Right. What's Vincent Sarsnecki said? I saw McDonald's level jobs in Florida start at 15 hour all over. Not the case up here near Chicago. I'm from Chicago. My friend here is from Boise, so he might not be able. No, he's from New York. He's from New York. I'm a Chicago guy, so we know cost of living up north. I'm down south now.
World of difference. World of
Yeah,
difference.
yeah. Chicago, New York guys, we can tell you all day. Yeah, we know that to be true. But the thing is, I want to put a comment on that as you're putting gas stations, basic chains, etc. Man, there's nothing wrong with those type of jobs. There's nothing wrong with entry level positions. There's nothing wrong with any of that. Don't get it twisted. I drive a box truck and deliver garbage cans in the morning. Don't ever get it confused. People see me running to school or own it, but I still work a 9 to 5. I'm that guy. But that being said, when your spare time, if you are working at McDonald's for 15 hours, because of your situation, because of your background, maybe there's a gap in your work history. Maybe there is going to be a situation where you might have, an obstacle to clear to try to get to the next level where you want to be. Focus on creating your own opportunities. Do the homework, get on YouTube, get on Google Grow, get on any of these platforms, start getting the information and see what you can create for yourself without having to, fork over thousands of dollars.
Right. Right.
Yeah, there's opportunities, there's things that you can create through effort and time that can really shift how you move. I know a guy, he knows a guy too. I don't know if he knows what I'm talking about, but I'm Samanti.
Yeah.
Internet. Yeah. On the TikTok side, we got a guy, man, and follow him if you're not on TikTok. Your boy Samani, he's doing well. I talked to a guy.
He's doing pretty well. Yeah,
he's doing well from his phone. I'm pretty. I talked to a guy. Shout out to Jay. I'm out here living Williams, man. Introduce him through Woody, who was recently, Yeah.
One love, Woody. Love you, brother.
Yeah, Woody got a powerful story, man. He introduced me to Jay Williams. Jay Williams has like 300,000 subscribers on YouTube. I'm sure, and these are guys that just started from their phone and just told their story. Not saying that's your route, but you can get into other things too, man.
And also, brother, it's not how much you make; it's what you do with what you make. So don't let that discourage you because the figure is low. You can still maneuver, man, with your salary. You can still find ways to, even if it's a little bit of money, brother, to sit and see your money work for you. So stay encouraged, man. And also know, man, you're one step away from the next level. Everybody starts somewhere, and where you start at is no indication of where you're going to end up at.
At all. This is a man called Sarex. I went from grunt pay 11 hour to manager pay 14.25. Congrats.
There you go.
Work hard. Anything's possible. Discipline is key and consistency is king, man. You can get in. You can start. Let me tell you something. You can start at McDonald's mopping the floor. You work harder than everybody and you maneuver. You can be the GM. You know what I'm saying? Even it's just how hard you willing to work. If that's where you want to go.
Yeah, McDonald's has this it's just this numbers thing. It's like 76, 45, 56. And what it is that 76% of the people who own franchises now started on fries. 45% of the people on the executive team started on fries, and 50%, of their management team started on fries. So
that's crazy.
Again, where we start is absolutely no indication as to where we're going to end up at.
No question. You spoke on something real quick because you can maneuver with the $15 job, especially if you were surviving off 45 cents behind the wall.
Hey, man.
But how many times, or do you feel like you feel like that's an issue for guys coming home? Do you feel like budgeting? Do you feel like they start touching money and they forget that part? Or what's your feel when you look around? Because I see things on the internet. I'm like, man, he's been on for 2 days. He got a charger. How you do that? What I'm saying? What's your take on that?
Well, I think there's always, sometimes there is the catch up mentality, that I want to get the gear. I want to, but you really can't do that, man. As far as funds go, maybe one of the things that we really need to curb is what we spend on wardrobes. Modesty, man, is huge. And I know for me right now, I'm 56, man. I reserve the right to not be dictated to by any fashion trends. None, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, I'm not going to get caught up in that. But collectively, especially coming home, man, it's wise to not get caught up in that. And more importantly, get caught up in managing money effectively, man. Managing your money effectively.
Yeah. We get caught up. Some of us, man, we forget. We want to come home. Granted, I get it, right? You're gone for 5 years. You're 5 years older. Maybe you got locked up when you're 30. You come home when you're 35, and you're looking at everybody they got house, whatever it is. yeah, that's going to impact you, but it shouldn't impact you in such a way that you start making decisions that might take away
Indeed.
everything that you're gaining. And,
Indeed.
don't get caught up in, or don't forget that you've been gone for 10 years. You've been gone for 4 years. They've been working that whole time. You know what I'm saying? They've been grinding. So you got to start your process when you got the opportunity to, and move at your own pace, man. Freddie said something key, and I concur. I'm not getting caught up by nobody's fashion line trick. None of that.
None of that, man.
None
None
of
of that.
that. None of that, man. I go to TJ Maxx or Marshalls, or
You
I
know
go
what I
to
mean?
Thrift. I do whatever I got. I got a shirt on. This is my homeboy's nonprofit, man. I throw this on and walk around all day. I don't care nothing about none
Son,
of
this
that.
joint here came out of Ross's, man. We've got to really embrace, man, and we toss it out like it's fly. But clothes don't make the man makes the clothes. And a lot of companies are profiting off us. Oh man, if you can't do it, brother, you can't do it, man. You can still look good in a $10 shirt, a $15, $20. Man, until you can really do something different.
That's why I constantly, I just look, and I just got to think that's why the majority of the younger generation is getting incarcerated, because of social media, clout, the need to portray an image,
have to portray an image, man.
You know what I'm saying? It's a weird time, because for the youngins, they got more pressure. It's easier for us. I'll say that. I'm 40.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
But if the youngins
want to state that, definitely easier.
Yeah. But if they could get that too, they'll be good to go, man. You got youngins out, man. You got dudes out here risking their freedom just to pay a car note so they can drive down the street and can't afford to put gas in the car, man. And I'm being all the way real with you.
Yeah. But you know what's also ill, though, is the actions that they commit is also part of perpetrating the image.
No question. It's all one.
It's all one vicious, terrible cycle, man. And all of it geared toward acceptance, man. And yeah. But for the cats coming home, believe me, man. Man, what's the saying, man? A slow nickel beats a fast dime. A slow dime beats a fast nickel.
Yeah.
Take your time, man. Everything will come to you in time if you're willing to grind.
You don't got to look over your shoulder. You don't
have to look over your shoulder.
Yeah.
No beef with them crosstown cats or none of that. Nobody's beefing with people for working 40 hours.
No, not at all. Well, you might be beefing with your manager or something. I don't know, but
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it might be some work beef. You got to do some overtime or whatever.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, next time we might have to put you on paper. But other than that.
It says, we got another question from Kilo Real. It says, what is one thing you were afraid to do but felt amazing after you accomplished it since being home? Man, I'm not one of them guys that runs around here and says they're a brave heart and they not scared of anything. I'm often, I got a little fear a lot of times. And even when I've done something before, if I'm doing it again for the first time, there's still a little, because I'm just to the point where I want to capitalize in the moment. I don't want to mess it up. I try not to operate in fear. I push past it as fast as I can, and I kind of adjust as fast as I can. But something I accomplished, man, how about just self-care? How about that? I was gonna go somewhere totally different and talk about business but something I accomplished was understanding the need for self-care and taking the time to work on myself as I'm continuing to do and adjust. I'm focused on really growing, not just talking about it. A lot of times in my past, I get up there, I'd speak a good word, and then I turn right back around and do the opposite. And this season, not just this season, but the last few seasons, the walk has matched the words, and I'm grateful for that, because I think in the back of my mind I was like, I'm gonna be like 75% of the message, but now I'm trying to really walk and talk 100%. I wanted to manifest or come out, whatever the word is, both ways. So that's what I'm
doing. You're doing it.
Yeah, it's a fight. It's, for me anyways, it's a fight, because that's why I could have said like the school or being any of that, but for me, I had to really sit back and look at the fact. I used to be arrogant and egotistical, big headed. That's what a lot of the things that led me to the streets, which led me to the pen. And some of those things were still there, still there, and they were still popping up at times. And I'm finally to the point now where I just became so dissatisfied that I'm really doing the work. I'm doing the shadow work, as they say. So I'm grateful for that. That's my thing. What's your thing that you accomplished that you I don't know if you're a fearful guy. I don't think I've never seen you in my mind operate.
No. Don't believe that. Don't believe that.
I don't know. You might be a little different than me, but where you at?
A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Yeah, I was gonna go in one direction, and then it hit me, man. Besides, like, when I got locked up, I was a different dude than who emerged out of prison. Mm-hmm. So, living out that dude with my wife, the transition. But what it really hit me was taking care of a child, man. When I came home, my daughter and her husband were leaving for Jamaica the very next week. And we had agreed while I was still locked up that I would watch the children while they were gone. Now, my grandson is 9 months old. And when you say he's attached to his mom's, he's attached to his mom's, yo. I didn't know, and yo, son, it was bananas. But when it was all said and done, man, it was the greatest feeling and sense, man, in the world. And it laid the foundation for, he and I, man, we've got just a great relationship, and it all stems from that time period. But I was a little shook, man.
There's certain things you don't want to mess up, right?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
That's how it is.
Word.
Yeah, I can only imagine, man. You know what I'm saying? My time's coming, but that's a whole nother daunting task. Because I'm thinking of you said 9-month old?
Yeah, 9 months.
Yeah,
and again, I can't even paint the picture of how attached he is to his mom, yo. She gone for 3 minutes. He's off the chain. And bruh, we have a picture of what I looked like after the first day, yo. Shirt full of chocolate and cheese doodles and milk, and he beat me up. He beat me up, man.
That's that good work right there.
That's great
work right there.
That's great work.
That's what you fought for. Did you think, like, how many, was there ever a period when you were incarcerated that you thought, even for a moment, you might not have been there? And if whether you did or didn't, do you think your appreciation is more because you were incarcerated?
What do you mean? Might not have been. What do you mean?
Well, just for me, I walked outside and I smelt that, this morning I was like, man, there was a time where I didn't know if I'd make it home. Or I didn't know if I'd see this. I didn't know if life would be like this once I got home. Did you always picture, or was there a moment where you're like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Or even whether you did or not, does it make you appreciate things more since you were incarcerated and one time you were
doubt exponentially more, man. I don't think that there's anything I might not appreciate. I appreciate being stuck in traffic, man. I appreciate, man, people honking their horns and cutting me off. Because why? I'm out here, man. I'm out here, man. There was a time where they couldn't cut me off. They couldn't blow their horns at me.
Right.
So for me, man, just the act of walking to the mailbox, having been denied what I felt and what we should feel is something essential as my freedom for so long, man. Yo.
But I asked you that because, and I might have been the exception to the rule, but I know I'm not because I've had the conversation, but there was a period where I lost that. Like, I forgot, like, hey, you should be grateful. And that's why I asked that question, because when I first came home, man, it was like that. It didn't matter. I'm working on a garbage truck in a pandemic. Dumpster juice hits me in the side of the head. Thank you.
Right.
for me, what I didn't do, but I know your situation is different, you know, but I'm always talking to guys. What I didn't do over time was I didn't keep that in perspective. And I allowed time, the more time I was out here, because life throws stuff at you to kind of knock me away. And if I can liken it, it's like I'm looking at it, it's in my view, but every time I allow it, you know, it's out my sight until it's gone. And then I had to fight to get back there. And that's why I asked that question. Because I'm talking to guys, they're frustrated, you know, they're going through certain things. I talked to, talked to a friend of mine, man. He had to call me from the other side of the wall. You know, he ended up going back. You know what I'm saying? It's just, and it's all the same theme though. You know, guys became dissatisfied, or man, I forgot what it was like, or I should have remembered, you know, and that's why I asked that question. Anybody that's watching this, don't be consumed by the thought. But when you run into frustrations of your day, right? If you've been incarcerated or whether or not, if you've been through anything bad, horrible, any other situation you thought you couldn't get through before, keep in mind you can get through it. You know, if you got to look back to get a perspective, if you wake up tomorrow and you got a flat tire and you start to, you know, wig out, which I've done before. I woke up 5 a.m, got a flat tire, start to wig out. Take the time to think about where you came from, what you survived, what you endured. You know, take the time to think about what other people may be going through. It's cliched, and I used to take it for advantage. When people say, man, some people, they pray to be able to get out of bed in the morning. You know, and then I watched a friend of mine during COVID, you know, lose his life over time. You know, so just sometimes, man, just an encouraging word. Think about it in a different way. Shift your perspective.
That's it. That's it. You know, there's a saying that life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you respond to it. And how we respond to things is based on how we perceive them. But in that principle, what the truth of the matter is there's nothing that's serious. There's really nothing, bar a few things, but in our normal everyday interactions, there's really nothing that's serious for us to allow it to be a trigger for us to catapult us into something that ends up being really detrimental to our future. But yeah, man, we just change the way we look at things, and stuff happens. Life happens.
Yeah.
As tough it is as it is to embrace, life happens, and oftentimes when it happens, we're not prepared for it. But it doesn't mean we can't adapt, overcome, and keep it pushing.
Yeah, no question, man. Formula is the same. You gotta keep pushing, but yeah, perspective shift. And then I liken it, you know, I look at it like this, right? When you're driving down the highway or whatever, there's mile markers. Or for me, the first time I'm driving down the highway expressway, because my wife's always on top of my head about using the GPS, I try to look for landmarks, you know, things that I can remember if I got to come back that way or whatever it is, things that stick in my mind if I got to explain to somebody else the directions to come where I'm at, you know, things like that. So as you're going through this journey of life, you know, pay attention to your mile markers. You know, you're gonna go through things.
Yeah. Hey, I wanted to say it before, and I wasn't thinking when you were talking about brothers being out and not remembering prison, and as a result, not having a full appreciation for life and being out. Oftentimes, I think that the appreciation has to come before the remembering prison. I think there just has to be a place where we're really, and you and I talked about it offline, where we're really celebrating every step.
Yeah.
You know, where we're finding reasons, and the reasons are plentiful to be thankful. And I think then once that attitude of gratitude gets embraced, you all of a sudden the picture flips back and you're like, yo, son, I wasn't even a year ago that, oh man.
Yeah.
So just being thankful, man, to be as crazy as it sounds, you know, there's some people who don't even have cars to have flat tires, you know, and not that my happiness needs to be based on someone else's lack, but, you know, let's just be thankful, man, we can even be in situations, man, and that nothing is so serious, man, that you can't come out of it and won't come out of it.
Right. Because how many times was I sitting in my bunk in the pen, just praying for an opportunity to drive a car down the road,
Come
or
on, man.
praying to go to work, and a lot of times, man, to anybody that don't be that person, man. You pray for an opportunity, you pray for whatever it is, and then when you get it, you don't you don't embrace it the way they're
Right.
supposed to embrace. I've seen people. No, better yet, I've done it.
I've done it. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
for lack of better words, as my grandma said, I used to be the king of taking a blessing and turning it into a curse. You know what I'm saying?
That's a mean skill, boy.
It's a mean skill. And I'm
Woo!
gonna tell you something. I mastered it well. I self-destruct king back in the day. You know
Jeez.
what I'm saying? Hey, relationships, opportunities, because I didn't appreciate in the moment. I was always skeptical. I was thinking about this and that. I was going there. So yeah, that appreciation piece is
It's huge, man. It's
yeah,
huge.
attitude,
You know?
attitude. Yeah.
And also, man, we then begin to develop a different attitude, a more positive attitude, a more altruistic attitude. And we remember that it's our attitude, not our aptitude, that determines our altitude. You'll find that you're moving into different circles now. We're moving in different venues and dimensions when our attitude shifts. You know, a lot of times it's not other people holding us back. It's the fact that we've got a bad attitude. And once you get to a certain level, you can't go any higher than that with that attitude.
Yeah. And don't feed into the stereotype. Anybody that walks around, if you're walking around with a grin on your face and you're being aggressive and all that, get out that, man. Get out
that, man. Get out
put a
that.
smile on your face, shake some hands, let some people say hello.
Definitely, man.
Yeah.
Press the flesh, walk around, rub some elbows. Our smiles are our calling cards. And we don't want to be grinning like minstrels, but hey man, when you greet somebody, how you doing? Look pleasant. Look like you're ready to stick sun up.
Yeah. I've had times where, and it's crazy because I'm the guy that did 17. Young man walked up to me like, I'm like, yo, yeah.
Did I do something?
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not, you got it, whatever's going on. But because you don't know what opportunity may be, you don't know who may be watching, you just don't know. You know what I'm saying? But you don't want to put yourself on an island. You don't want to, because you're ex-felon or whatever it is, have the perspective or nobody's going to relate no, don't do that. And don't ever think you're better than anybody either, man. Please don't be that person,
man. No. We always want to be mindful of the atmosphere and the aroma we bring when we walk into a room and the atmosphere we leave when we walk out of a room. Yeah. And that's not good energy, good environments, not creative when you're looking like, man, you've been pickled in juice, in lemon juice.
No question.
It's okay to smile, yo. It's okay to shake hands with people you don't know and introduce themselves and let them know your real name. It's okay.
That's it, man. I'm sitting here. You got to be able to code switch. You probably heard the term, whatever.
Yes, good point.
It's not being untrue to yourself or the core of who you are. It's just being able to connect with different rooms, different people. It's using the fact that maybe you was raised in the streets, but you got intelligent, whatever. It's just using whatever you have. Your book smarts. It's using your ability to adapt through communication, through your walks, whatever it is. In the mornings, I'm in the huddle with the fellas before we jump on the trucks. We grunt, we walk off, we spit in the dirt. Everybody's good. We drink our coffee. We keep going. But I leave that job. I go to the school, and now I'm the only guy. And I'm at a cosmetology school, and I'm the principal. And customer service is priority. And it's a lot of women and children. And I got to change how I move and interact. And I'm not full of oil and all that, and like I am in the morning. I got my shirt buttoned up, and you know what I'm saying? So it's just moving in a way that you're comfortable, true to yourself, but being able to connect because you don't know what opportunity arises or relationship, etc. Man, that's what I'm code switching. Key 2023.
Yeah, I think to underscore the point you made, man. It's not about being fake either. It's being true to oneself. It's being who you are. But sometimes adaptation is called for. Sometimes we do need to identify how things are moving at a certain place and fall in line, but that doesn't mean compromising.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean taking shorts. It doesn't mean any of that, but it's
Yeah.
necessary.
No question. And there's no excuses, man. I gotta keep saying that. Don't walk into a situation defeated, or don't live life not looking for opportunity or more because you feel like your past is going to weigh you down, or it's not like that in 2023. I know too many people. They got jackets worse than mine, better than whatever. They got jackets just like me that are doing better and greater. You know what I'm saying? Or doing just fine. So just get out there. You know what I'm saying? Get off the hard exterior. Embrace the moment. Before we bring this to a close, I was one of the things I've been touching on TikTok. Everybody's been going crazy on the videos. Shout out to the trolls too. We love the trolls. They help the algorithm. You know what I'm saying? Feel free to leave a comment. But I've been doing paranoia pieces for the last few days. One of the pieces I did in the vehicle, I'm in my vehicle, the police pull up, you see the sirens flashing. And it was based off a real moment, because it was ironic. I'm driving down the street and my thoughts went back. The police had nothing to do with me. You know what I'm saying? It was just the lights were there at the right time or whatever during the video. But what was going on, I was reflecting the thought of when I used to be riding on that bus, shackled. Shackled at my wrists, shackled at my ankles, shackled to the waist, and locked in at times with a padlock on the outside. And I know you can relate to this, Fred. You're locked in for the ride. And there was in the Commonwealth of Virginia, there's this part where you go over this bridge. It's a 1-lane bridge. I don't know how deep. The water could have been 1 foot for all I know, but when you're locked in though, and you're shackled, and you realize if the bus goes over the edge,
you're done.
You're done.
You're fish bait.
And you take this trip, who knows how many times over the years, and that's what the piece was about. Just me. I'm driving down the street, but I had a moment where I kind of flashed back, you know what I'm saying, to being on that bus. And I think it just brings it together full circle when we talk about keeping things in perspective, understanding what you've gone through, what you've made it through, and using it to propel you even further forward.
Indeed.
Freddie, any last words before we go, man, on this wonderful Thursday?
Nah, not really, man. Other than, sometimes, man, we can be our worst enemy. I know I've been that for years, but strive just to be, and I'm striving. I know you are, but the best version of ourselves, man. Again, to be really critical about what we're doing, what we're thinking, and if you're really on the quest for self-improvement, man. Every day, man, there's a better version of you and I within ourselves, waiting to be revealed and unveiled. So let's just strive. That's it. Get around good people who can help you. Your circle, our circle, my circle is extremely important. You can't grow orange trees in just any atmosphere, just like we can't grow in just any atmosphere. So that's it, man. There's greatness in us, waiting to come out, waiting to be born, man. Let's get it.
Yeah. I'm paraphrasing. I don't know if it's the right. You might be able to help me out. John 13:7, I think. I might be wrong. I don't know, but I'm thinking that somebody's basically, you may not know now, but soon you will. I'm chopping and screwing, right? The word, but I read it a few days ago and it hit me. And it's just to the point of knowing that if you don't keep going, you'll never know why you went through what you went through. If you don't keep going, you'll never know who you were developed to be, and what's in store, and that's really it. Till next time, good brother, about to part ways. You
All
know what I
right,
mean?
love you, man.
Love
Peace,
you,
everybody.
love you
Greatly
too,
appreciate
man.
the time.
Yes,
You
sir.
listen to me babble and ramble. So
Hey, we be back up here, man. We up here on our Thursdays, man. Somebody was like, call it convict conversation. No, we're not gonna call it convict conversation.
because I'm not a convict.
Yeah, I'm not a
Yeah,
convict.
I'm not a convict.
I'm somebody that went through something.
Yeah.
And
I was convicted.
yeah, and I'm up out of that now, and I'm just narrating the point, reflecting. But no, we get up here and we speak for those that have maybe gone through incarceration, maybe not. You know, we just speak from a real perspective. It's just it comes from our story, and that's
True.
it, man. Yep. Make sure you guys subscribe, like, and comment. As we're here, we got Mo Life coming soon. We got Fluid Conversations. We got a whole bunch of other stuff. Monday, we'll be back up here at 6 p.m. with Miss Bridget from Bar Business. Thursday, we got Future Delegate from VA. We got a whole bunch of people getting ready to come up. We got delegates and doctors and lawyers.
Ooh,
Yeah, man.
that's fire, B. That's
yeah,
fire,
man.
B.
I'm grateful, man. Shout out to everybody that's supporting the content, everybody believing in V100 TV, man. Till next time, we out. See y'all then. Peace.